In the past, people have suggested legalizing gambling in the state of California. The talk of the possible tax revenue would be fantastic. Those who believe it would basically erase the state's budget deficit. Now, the Indian gaming community would not be pleased with that. Currently, they handle most of the gambling in the state. So how about this? Legalizing internet poker. State Senator Rod White of Inglewood has introduced legislation to make California the first state to legalize internet poker. Firms would bid for the right to operate state-sanctioned games and be required to pay 20% of their gross revenues to the state. Wright says that would generate tens of millions of dollars. It's estimated that over 1 million Californians wager on overseas gambling sites. Deb, do you like the idea? If so, why would people play on state sites instead of overseas?
I say do it. Do it, do it, do it. Our state budget needs it. We need it. There's nothing wrong with it. We should be able to legislate it. We do it to cigarettes. We tax alcohol. We should be able to do it. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. And yes, people have a gambling problem, the same way that people have drinking problems, the same way that people have problems with smoking cigarettes. Tax them. Those that can't afford it won't do it. Those that can will do it. And
hey,
you know what?
Deb?
Maybe we may not see a balance in the budget right away, but I guarantee you it will make a clear and marked difference in years to come.
Deb, let me ask you, are you saying legalize internet poker, or are you
legalize
saying gambling?
Internet poker.
But how about gambling in general? Are you saying that as well?
Legalize gambling. I don't gamble, I don't smoke, and I don't drink. But for those of you that do, for those of you that choose to do it, for those of you who have been doing it for years, and those of you who are enthusiastic about still doing it, we should tax you.
Ron, what do you think?
Well, I think you can bet the house on the fact that it's got no chance in hell. The Indian gaming industry that you brought up is raking in billions of dollars. They spent hundreds of millions to get the law passed so that they can have all these casinos up and down the state. They're never going to allow that money to drain off to other firms.
You mean even on the internet? Even on the internet, they won't let that happen either?
Well, sure. Why am I going to go to a casino if I can play on the internet? If I can legalize poker, then I'll legalize blackjack. I know people who are playing blackjack day and night on the internet. I sort of take Deborah's side. If people are going to do stuff, the sin taxes, we may as well get a public benefit out of it instead of letting the money go somewhere else. People are going to do it. They're going to gamble. They love to gamble. And, I was at an Indian casino in San Diego County a month or so ago, and the place is mobbed.
Right.
It's just money pouring in there, and we're getting nothing or very little out of that.
Okay. Now, I want to tell you about this next story, and I'm wondering, is this alarming to you? In life, you know the old saying is, everything in moderation. Think it's okay if 27% of the people say they've consumed alcohol? If they're fifth graders, it comes from Hannah. 27% of fifth graders say they've had a drink, maybe more than one. In fairness, 71% said they think alcohol is very bad. But still, 27% of fifth graders are drinking. Again, more kids thought it was very bad, but have some parents lost control of their kids, Ron?
Well, I'm sort of tempted to make a joke about if their parents are high on meth, they don't know that they're drinking. But it's really disturbing situation that parents aren't paying attention, that they don't know what their kids are up to. It's one thing for a 16, 17-year-old kids. Everybody, I did it when I was that age. We'd steal booze from somebody's parents' closet. But you're older. The new research says that even among teenagers, late teenagers, binge drinking can be very damaging to brain development. I can't imagine what it could do to a fifth grader. It's one thing to take a sip of wine in a religious service or something, but I assume we're not talking about that kind of drinking. They're stealing booze and beer from their parents and getting drunk. And it's the parents are the ones who ought to be prosecuted and educated that this is totally dangerous to their child and unacceptable.
That's an interesting point, Deb. I don't know how you feel about that, but what if parents were prosecuted for that? What if someone came in and said your kid's drinking happened in your home, or you're just the parent, you need to be responsible, and you're prosecuted? How do you think that would fly?
It wouldn't fly. And I don't think as a parent I would want that to happen to any other parent, and I'll tell you why. Because I think there's a larger stake here, and I don't think it's a matter of just the parents. It's hard to police your children. No one wants to police their children. Even the idea and the concept and the phrase policing your children is detrimental to society. It basically says we've lost control. And yes, in the 21st century, we have lost control. But the larger thing at stake here is economics. economics have forced parents to have to be out working on a regular basis. Economics has really changed the social dynamic in the household. Divorce rate in California itself is 50%. It's really bad, and it has not gotten any lower. It hasn't gotten any better. So when you couple economics and the social ramifications of that with divorce rate, you're going to have parents that unfortunately are not out there policing their children regularly, having time with their children regularly, art programs. Plus, because of economics, children don't have art programs in schools. They don't have places to go after school. And the peer pressure and the economics between the two of those, their parents having to work, because society is changing so rapidly that we're taking it out on the LA Unified School District. We're taking it out on programs in schools. We're taking it out on after-school programs. It's a detriment to society. Parents just can't be blamed. It's not their fault, and no one should be prosecuted for this. If parents were prosecuted, society should be prosecuted.
And I think a lot of people believe, in some cases, society should be prosecuted. All right, Ron, Deborah, great job as always. You guys have a nice week.
You too.
You too, thanks.
All right.